friends. Thank you for joining me today. Well, you know what? It's that time of year, and that means people are trying to decide whether they're going to homeschool, public school, or private school. So during this time, I always get an influx of people who question whether or not they should take the leap of faith to homeschool or just put them in school. And the only thing that I can do is give you my experience and the reasons why I decided. So I had a friend that called me, well, not called, she messaged me earlier this morning about, I'm afraid, should I do this? What if she doesn't make friends? And, a lot of questions. And here's what I want to say. I want to be up front with everyone that about me. I do not believe that everybody should homeschool or home educate. And the reason why I believe that is because there are certain conditions, and every child is so different that if I put everybody in this one box, then it would be like, curriculum, like, yes, this one curriculum is going to fit your child and it's going to be it and it's going to work perfectly. I cannot do that. Here's why I did, and I'm going to just give you a little bit of my testimony. So everything that you see, okay, when you are whether on Facebook or YouTube or Instagram, isn't always what it seems to be. And one thing I want to always portray is who I am and how real I am and how truthful I am, especially when it's a topic that I feel so dear about. And home education is one of those topics. I guess what I want to say is there are many reasons that parents or grandparents, aunts, uncles will home educate. And those reasons are all good, I'm sure. But here are my top reasons for home educating my children. Number one, I was called to do it. Now, when I say I was called to do it, it wasn't like there was this big loud voice and said, she's to homeschool your children. Nothing like that. I seriously, my children, let's see, I had one that was preschool and actually kindergarten, and then another one that was going in right behind her. And so education was always something that was demanded, and something that in my family was a no-brainer. You had to at least get your high school diploma. So I thought it was natural for a parent to teach her children. And I found out really quickly that no, it wasn't natural. And so what I did is that I began teaching moments at home before my daughter actually went into school. Now, she did not go into like a regular public school. She went into a Montessori education, but it was only for, I believe, kindergarten and part of first grade, or maybe all of first grade. But I had taught her from the beginning. I would put letters and numbers up all over the house. I would stick words, like if it was a cabinet, I would put the word cabinet on there with the index card. I mean, it was something that I naturally did. And come to find out, her teacher asked me, why did I ever put her in school? Because I was doing such an awesome job without them. So that made me think a little bit and kind of question why, like really, why did I do it? Well, here's the thing. My sister-in-law was actually home educating her children, and she, of course, was an advocate for homeschooling. That was really the first time I heard of the term. And I was like, yeah, okay. And she believed everybody should home educate. Well, I'm on the other end, like, my kid, she was doing fine, and I was good with that. And but the more I started thinking about it, and the more I started praying about it, I began to feel this prompting that this is what was right for my kids. Now, everybody's not going to feel that. And I'm not saying that you should feel that or any of my friends should feel that. I felt that. And I was just shocked by the feeling because I wasn't 100% sure. Now, this is what I want to address, that when you are not sure about homeschooling, what are your deciding factors? And that was the question that a friend of mine asked in my Facebook group. What's the deciding factor? Here it is. There is no one deciding factor. But the first deciding factor for me was my husband needed to agree. Now, a lot of you may not, agree with that, but that's just who I am. And so I talked to my husband, and my prayer was, Lord God, please, if this is you talking to me, let my husband agree or disagree or whatever. I need a sign. And guess what? I talked to my husband about it, and he flat out said no. And I thought I was off the hook. I thought, okay, he said no, this is just something I'm just feeling, and I'm good with that. I was fine and loved the Montessori education and, wanted to send them on back. I was good with that. But what happened was 2 or 3 days later, I can't remember which time, he came back and he said, you know what, I've been thinking about us homeschooling, and I think it would be a good idea. Lo and behold, my mouth fell open and I thought, no way, because I thought this was something that I did not want to do. So my husband agreed, and I was shocked. I just could not believe that he came back and changed his mind. Now, that wasn't my only deciding factor, though. That was another deciding factor. So what happened is that I was already kind of anxious about this journey. And I was like, how do I do this? Because, really, I only have like a high school education. And how do I do this? I'm not a teacher. I'm not a degree. I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm in my kitchen, and please forgive my animals. In my kitchen, and I'm just sweeping and doing my daily stuff that I do, and all of a sudden I get this prompting in my heart because I'm praying, I'm really pondering about, am I really supposed to be doing this? So the first time, Lord let my husband agree with me, and then finally he did. The second time, I'm like, I don't know, I'm still not sure. I need something, and it was crystal clear. And he said this is what I felt. No man has greater love than this, than to lay down his life for his friends. How much more for your children? That was the key factor for me, was that if I can lay down my life for friends, I can certainly lay down my life for my kids. Now, immediately, my mouth fell open, and I was like repentant. I was like, God, you're right. But I knew that I was in this for the long haul. For me and my family, it was not about doing this for elementary and sending them back, or doing this to give it a try and sending them back. I knew for me that this was a calling upon my life, upon my family, my children, my husband, that I would do this straight through. And it has been 26 years. And even though I have had hard times, we have homeschooled in the face of being homeless. We have homeschooled in the face of not having a dime for curriculum. We have homeschooled in the face of me being sick with the 4th child and in the hospital. When God told me how much more for your children, I took it seriously. How much more? I did not have a choice of sending them back. Now, did I ponder it? Yes. Did we have hard times? I just gave you some of those hard times. Yes. Home education for me is not only about the education. That is the byproduct. That is what I naturally do with my children. Homeschooling for me is about raising and training my children to be the best people that they can be, to give them heart and to give them sound mind and to give them something that I didn't have, and that was freedom, that was peace, and that was a whole lot of family time. So, a lot of you may be deciding, what do I do? And you know what? I can't tell you what to do. Only you know deep down inside what to do for you and your family. But I will encourage you to think about it, to pray, to weigh the pros and the cons. I have all pros checked off. And as I begin to go through, as we begin to walk through the journey, we began to experience freedom. Things did not play out. I had to de-school myself. And a lot of people say, de-school your children? No, no, no. I had to de-school myself. And I say that because I had to get rid of the mentality of what was put in me as far as what education is. Education for me wasn't bad, but it wasn't all good. But I was spoon-fed. They told me what to learn. You're going to do this, this, and this in order to graduate. You have to learn this way. It was that one box fit all. And I'm telling you, the freedom that we have experienced in home education, I would not trade for anything. I have been able to take each of my children and teach them in a way that no one else on the face of the earth can teach them, because I know my children personally. I know them intimately. I know them in every way. I know when they're frustrated. I know if they're not giving their best. I know my kids. And because I know my children and I love them and I birth them, I want to make sure that I give them what they need individually and what they need to progress out in society. I did not keep my kids wrapped up in a box. I tried my best to give them every opportunity to explore other things. It's just so much freedom. But one thing I do know is that I was supposed to do it. So if you are deciding on whether or not to home educate or not, you know if you're supposed to do it. You have that voice that's deep down in you that's saying, yes, you can. And then you have that other voice saying, can you really? Don't listen to the can you really. I am here to tell you there is nothing standing in your way from taking a leap of faith into home educating your children. Only you know your reasons. Mine was, I had to know for sure. And I did. I knew for sure. So, I've not wasted, I've talked long enough. But I had to jump on really quick and let you guys know that this is a season of choosing what you're going to do. But it doesn't mean that it's the only season. You can, if you choose to send your children to school, that's fine and awesome. I was raised up in the public school system and I turned out great, and I've homeschooled my children with only a high school education and even have helped them in college courses. How? Because first of all, I believed. And then second of all, there is nothing that I can't do or learn. There's nothing you cannot teach your children. You can learn it and then teach them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make series of, hold on, sweet pea. I'm going to make series of posts. and encourage you guys. The pros, the cons, the good, bad, the ugly, all of that. Because I never want anyone to have these ideas that the people that they are looking at on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever it is, that they're looking at have it all together. When I say we homeschooled and we were homeless, we did not have a home. We slept in a one bedroom in my sister-in-law's house. Me, my husband, 3 children, and I was pregnant. But I was still faithful and I still did it because you know what? My children are worth it. Do what you know to do. And I hope this have blessed you guys. I hope I didn't scare anyone, but it's just my heart. And you will hear more from me because I just want to be a blessing to those who have ears to hear. And I want you to experience freedom, whether it's public school, private school, or homeschool. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any questions, I will try my best to answer them. And just put that question below, and I will see you soon. Thanks. Bye.